This is the Cubs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs POSTCAST here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Another day, another stinker for the Cubs as they lose 5-1 to the Cincinnati Reds. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use my promo code LOCKEDONMLB to receive 20% off your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, this is going to be one of those shows where we're going to let people vent their frustrations. We're going to try to read as many comments as possible. I can only read the clean ones, so if you cuss them, I'm not going to read you. But the Cubs have a chance for the first time this season to get swept tomorrow. And it feels like it's going to happen. Abbott is excellent, and the Cubs can't hit. 4 hits again for this team today, an 0 for 4 day for Kyle Tucker. Pico Armstrong looks lost. Michael Busch is barely leaving the infield when he's making contact. I know he had hit in this game, but it's all bad for the Cubs. There's really no other way to sugarcoat this anymore. And I think it's fair to ask right now, if you haven't been there yet, because I might be the last one of people here, honestly, like here on YouTube, at least in these chats and on this show, to not panic, but the button has been hit. Maybe not for the entire season, but in terms of winning the NL Central, you're 4 games back. This ball game, for me, it's over. I'm not considering the Cubs, a real contender right now for the NL Central. They're a bad baseball team. They've been 500 for about 2 months now. I don't care. Look, man, I try not to dog on people who are getting paid by the team and doing their job, but I don't need you to tell me in a game in which the Cubs are losing 5-1 about how many runs they've scored and how low their strikeout percentages and all this blah, blah, blah stuff. I don't need it. They're awful. They are an awful baseball team right now. And again, the season's not over, I guess, but it feels over. It feels like this team is just unraveling. And these are the things that are being talked about before the game and happening during the game. Let's talk about the performance by the Cubs lineup. And this one, Zach Littell, who the Reds just got in this game, 8 strikeouts, 16 swing and misses tonight, season highs against the Chicago Cubs. His most strikeouts in a game since May 28th, 2024, when he set his career high with 9. His most swing and misses in a game since September 23rd, 2024. A guy who I think they say has given up 27 home runs this year on the Matt Shaw. Good for him. That's the only positive from the lineup in this game is Matt Shaw. They can't hit. Jed Hoyer, before the game, talked about the trade and the injury that happened with Soroka. This is what he had to say. He said, "We felt like it was a good bet to make. Right now, it's not looking like a good bet." You know what's not a good bet to make? Your contract, Jed. I wish there was an edit undo button for that thing that was just signed, because anyone that wants him to leave is going nowhere. This ownership group is not going to sign a contract and let go of this guy in the offseason. Jed Hoyer is your dude. Yeah, it was a bad bet. And maybe he'll only miss 2 weeks. But maybe he's not going to pitch again for the Cubs ever again. You gave up 2 prospects who probably weren't going to be on this team, but whatever. So, yeah, you made a bad bet. And look, I'm not defending Jed here. I'm going to point out facts. Since the trade deadline, even if you include the 4 innings that Ben Brown dropped in yesterday, the Cubs starting pitching plus Ben Brown has given up 5 earned runs since the trade deadline. Mackenzie Gore, Joe Ryan, they don't fix the Cubs' problems right now. They don't turn Kyle Tucker back to Kyle Tucker. They don't make PCA now what he was earlier in the season. They don't make Seiya Suzuki what he was before the All-Star break. A starting pitcher doesn't just magically fix these problems. The problem at the end of the day is today, who was good in his first appearance, but obviously you guys can still hear me. But it's just this team is playing abysmal baseball right now. They are not a good team. And again, panic button for the division. Yeah, it's there. It's there. And I don't think they're going to win it. It is a wild card watch situation. And if you get swept tomorrow, think that puts the Reds at 4.5 games back of you in the wild card race. Like, you're not talking about, the ability to not just make the playoffs. Missing the playoffs, the way they're playing right now, it feels real. It feels like a real thing that this season the Cubs could get to a point where they're playing so poorly offensively that it doesn't matter what the lineup does. It doesn't matter what the bullpen does. Even the games this weekend where, yes, you're giving up leads late and Justin Turner's having to save the day, and Saturday you're losing a game in which the bullpen gave up leads late. But again, Saturday was 3 runs. Like you've got 7 hits in the last 2 days. 5 runs for what this Cubs lineup was doing earlier this season is an obtainable victory. It's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. Glenn asks, how did Jed get an extension? He admitted he traded for a hurt player and he overpaid for him. Yeah, I don't know about the overpay part. We'll see. That's a long-term wait and see. But yeah, he traded for a player that, yes, he had an MRI. Soroka said last night when he met with the media before the deadline. But I mean, the fastball velocity was going down like crazy, and the first inning was fun when he struck out 3 guys, but he's hurt, and that's your move. I don't know. Do we want to give Jed any credit for not trading his prospects at this point? I think the answer is no, but it would be so much worse if you traded Owen Casey or Moises Ballesteros away, and this is how the Cubs are playing right now, because I'm thinking about Kyle Tucker's gone. Who's going to be in right field next year? Are you going to keep Ian Happ? Are you going to keep Seiya Suzuki? That's where my mind is at right now. And it is a frustrating place to be when the Cubs started the season so well. And at this point, it's unraveled in a way that, I'm not sure how much they can bounce back from this. And Jed, when he was on Marquee today, he also said, quote, "We're due for some of these guys to get out of their slumps. We'll get hot again. Hopefully it happens fairly soon." You sure? You sure about that? Because these guys have been slumping Kyle Tucker's been slumping for 2 months. And again, look, Kyle Tucker is a guy I've watched up close and personal. I don't know who this guy is at the plate. I mean, because even the typical stuff of him rolling over and has started to go away a little bit. He's behind on pretty much every fastball. He's lost. And same with Seiya Suzuki, same with PCA for the most part. They're falling apart, this lineup right now, and they've got some major work to do to make the playoffs this year and to have any chance at the Central. Again, I don't think that's going to be the case. For the Cubs to win the Central, they have to wake up tomorrow. They have to flip a switch that feels virtually impossible for them to switch at this point. So we'll take a break here. We'll take a couple more. We'll read some more of your guys' comments. Jiggly Kitten, what a name here on YouTube, says, "I'm not even sure the Cubs can make the playoffs anymore." Yeah, if you feel that way right now, I totally agree. Christopher Cole says Jed has destroyed this team. Look, you can't. I can't disagree with anything right now. You don't want Kyle Tucker back? All right, you win the argument right now. I got nothing to say to you because it's warranted. The way Cubs fans are feeling right now. All right, we'll take our break. We'll talk more about the game. We'll talk a little bit about Shota. Something I want to see more of from Cubs fans as well. That's coming up next year on the Locked on Cubs postcast on the Locked on Cubs YouTube channel.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started.
Today's episode is also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape and ginger and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink minus the alcohol into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest. Some days on the course or off of it, you just need that extra boost. I'm always kind of a wild shot when I'm out there, so definitely feel like that boost for 5-hour energy is something I need when I'm out there golfing. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts for your clubhouse to go down without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use our promo code LOCKEDONMLB to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. This code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need. All right, let's talk about the rest of this game and what we saw today. Shota Imanga, he was very good. That's the positive from this game. We got to hit on the good stuff here, because if you're not like me and you're not panicking right now, there's going to be people who are like, we got to talk about the good stuff. So Matt Shaw hits a home run in this game. They showed during the broadcast, third best OPS by a third baseman right now since the All-Star break. That continues to be a very good thing for the Chicago Cubs. And Shota Imanga in this game was also very good. He on the day ends up going 6 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. You think back to where he was 2 starts ago. He was brutal, was getting hit like crazy. I heard JD talk about potentially hitting, having the White Sox having his pitches a little bit. And obviously the mechanics, the velocity was down in that one. His last 2 starts have been fantastic for the Cubs. So that's the good stuff. The starters, again, since then have done a good job to this point since the All-Star break. They've done their part. It's the bullpen and specifically the lineup who has not done their job at all at this point. Steve says, is it time to fire – where'd you go, Steve? Is it time to fire Dustin Kelly? Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to see some changes in the offseason. Again, unfortunately for Cubs fans, one thing about the front office, the ownership group here, is for a team that won't overspend on players. I know I saw Sam tweet this. They ain't going to remove guys who have contracts that are lengthy. Specifically, obviously, Jed Hoyer, who they just signed, and Craig Counsell. They are not going to do that. So Craig's here. So can you make other decisions that are going to help this team? Yes, you can. You can absolutely do that. And it wouldn't shock me if we did see changes like that in the offseason for the Cubs. But we're still got, 50-something games left this year to try to get this thing back going. And it's a real question of what can be. See, JFH says here, Hap really is brutal. Yep, seeing him bat second. I know they want to change things up. Maybe that was, in theory, going to help Kyle Tucker at some point. It didn't today. It did not help Kyle Tucker. Again, I think if he's hurt, man, you gotta put him on the 10-day IL, because he probably needs an off day. But is an off day going to solve it? Does anyone expect Seiya Suzuki to come back tomorrow and have an excellent day because he had a day off? Absolutely not. I don't expect that. I don't, think we're going to see Seiya Suzuki all of a sudden just wake up and get red hot. And even a 10-day IL stint for Kyle Tucker, does it fix everything? Probably not. I love the idea that people like Mark and here are saying in the chat, bring up Owen Casey and Moises Ballesteros. Yeah, I just don't know where you put them. I don't know where you put them right now. Unless guys are going to go down, they're not going to play. Now, is there an argument to sit Ian Happ? Yeah, there is. If you want a chance to re-sign Kyle Tucker, which I know a lot of Cubs fans don't want to right now, and again, I don't blame you, but if he's going to be out there every day, do you have to put Ian Happ out there every day? I don't think so. I don't think you do, and I don't think bringing up a prospect right now would honestly be the worst decision to see this team try to get some kind of spark. It really does feel like the only big hit they've had of late was that Moises Ballesteros, bases clearing double the other day. And that's the only guy that's really come through. It feels like, besides Justin Turner, of course, in a really big moment. So, would I like to see the Cubs do something radical at this point? Yeah, I would. Rickster says, stop with the Kyle Tucker is hurt BS. Well, I mean, look, Rickster. The only reason why it's a conversation is because the paid guys who work for the Cubs are the ones pointed it out. Like it was Boog who said that Kyle Tucker can't grip the bat in the way that he wants to. So it's an excuse. Yes. Is it factual? I don't know. We have to, like, Kyle Tucker won't say anything until the offseason. We see players play through struggles before, but we won't know until the offseason at this point. But he looks awful at the plate. So see if it gets any better. I don't know what else to say. Like, we'll see if it gets any better. Like, the lineup has been dreadful. I hope Jed Hoyer's right and that they're going to get hot at some point. But it just seems like this lineup is across the board slumping, and maybe if you can get at least one guy going, it rallies everyone else. But at this point, it's wait and see and cross your fingers that you can be within striking distance. So the Brewers win that 5-game series comes up here pretty soon. But if not, it could go to like a 10-game, deficit in the division, in which a division you led by 6.5 games at one point in the season, and you're down to 4. You're down 4 games now in the division. All right, that will do it for us. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow afternoon here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Even all the Brewers fans in the chat trolling us here. And I get it. I can't argue with you either. So that will do it for us. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Matt and Sam will have their normal show coming up as well. So hang out with you guys tomorrow here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Peace.